Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of This Week in Eagle Athletics here on Monday, November the 6th in Midway. I'm your host, Dylan Brown, Sports Information Director. Let's lead off with men's soccer. Men's soccer got a big 2-1 victory last week over Cincinnati Christian to lock up the number 2 seed in the River States Conference Tournament, which has already begun. Midway hasn't played yet. With the number 2 seed, Midway got a first round bye, so they'll be in action later this week on Wednesday. Brad Wilson scored the game winner with 3:21 left in the first overtime period. Christian Nier made 10 saves. Congratulations to the men's soccer team. Really well played game by both teams. Cincinnati Christian and Midway both had numerous chances to score. Both defenses and both goalkeepers played really well in that game. The women's basketball team picked up their second win of the season and moved to 2-1 on the season. They picked up a 78-46 win at home last Friday against Cincinnati Clermont. The Eagles started the game hitting, I think, their first 7 shots on their way to a 20-0 run to open the game. They went on to cruise to a 78-46 win over Cincinnati Clermont. Then the men's basketball team that same night also picked up their first win of the season, a 103-90 win over Cincinnati Clermont. Crizelle Mitchell led the Eagles with 20 points. Midway also had 6 other players in double figures. Senior Bryson Harris recorded his first double-double with 14 points and 12 rebounds. I also did post-game interviews with women's basketball coach John Kinger and men's basketball coach Joe Krupinski following those 2 games. Hopefully you saw those on the Go Midway Eagles YouTube channel. And unfortunately, 4 teams actually saw their season come to an end. Women's soccer went 0-2 last week. Volleyball went 0-3, and men and women's cross country each posted a 12th place finish in the River States Conference Championships last Saturday at Asbury. So, unfortunately, their season comes to a close. Move to this week events. Here, what's happening in Midway. On Tuesday, November 7th, the men and women's basketball teams will be in action. The women's basketball team will be headed to Williamsburg, Kentucky to take on the University of the Cumberlands at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. That's in Williamsburg. And then the men's basketball team will be heading to Louisville, Kentucky to take on Boyce College at 7 p.m. Both of those games will be streamed live, and you will be able to find those links at www.gomidwayeagles.com. And then on Wednesday, November 8th, aforementioned men's soccer, they will take on the number 6 seed Indiana University East at 3 p.m. at the Midway Soccer Field. Again, that's on Wednesday, November 8th. IU East is in the River States Conference Tournament semifinals after they defeated Asbury, the number 3 seed, 5-4 this past weekend. So hope to see you guys out there. I really want to see a really nice crowd for that one. It's a really big game, obviously. With a win, Midway would take on the winner of Rio Grande and or West Virginia Tech. If Rio Grande were to win that game, Midway would travel to Rio Grande, Ohio on Saturday, November 11th to play in the River States Conference championship game. And if West Virginia Tech were to defeat the Red Storm, West Virginia Tech would come here and Midway would host that game on Saturday, November 11th. And again, it's a big game for the Eagles. Tim Walls and his club, they've been working extremely hard this season. Their second year as a program, they're the number 2 seed in the conference tournament. Last year they finished the year as the number 3 seed. This year they're the number 2. Hope to see you guys out there supporting your Eagles. And then on Friday, November 10th, the women's basketball team will take on Lourdes University at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That one's right here on campus and inside Marshall Gymnasium. Hope to see you there. And then later that night, at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time in Cookeville, Tennessee. The Midway men's basketball team will be taking on Tennessee Tech University in an exhibition. Again, that one's in Cookeville, Tennessee. Tennessee Tech, an NCAA Division I program, so that one will be an exhibition. Also, on a side note, the women's golf team will be hosting their ring ceremony at halftime of the women's basketball game against Lourdes University on Friday, November 10th. That'll take place about 6:15, 6:30. The Eagles are celebrating their 2016-17-18, or 2016-17, skipping too many years, their 2016-17 River States Conference Tournament Championship. So congratulations to them. Hope to see you guys there to celebrate the women's golf team getting their rings, as well as hopefully a victory by the women's basketball team against Lourdes University. And again, all games this week will be streamed live. You can find those links on www.gomidwayeagles.com. Live video and live stats should be available for all games this week. So if you can't make it to the game, support your Eagles by watching them live online. That'll do it for this week's episode of This Week in Eagle Athletics. Join us next Monday, November 13th, when we release the newest episode of This Week in Eagle Athletics.